So now I'm going to talk about these legal and ethical issues. For someone in the professional services, and this was written, this particular site for lawyers basically, but in any type of professional setting, the unauthorized practice of whatever you do. If you can't tout yourself as being a specialist, it's particularly in law, if you're not, formally like a patent attorney, if I don't have that specialization. This all, it relates to any business person, because you can't say, you have to be authentic, right, with social media and transparent and truthful. So, in direct solicitation, that relates to, attorneys and disclaimers about this is not an attorney-client engagement. And advertising, there's rules regarding lawyers and how they advertise and things that need to be disclosed. And there may be the same for your industry as well. Again, confidentiality and is key. Legal issues on the internet, intellectual property, employment law issues, tort, like defamation, and that's considered a tort, and a breach of contract or regulatory. These are the intellectual property. I have trademark infringement, contributory infringement, copyright infringement, secondary infringement. It's basically trademark and copyright. If you're using someone's logo or plagiarizing things that they've written or photographs, you have to be concerned about that. Again, always source if you're going to utilize someone else's content. And the defense to that is fair use. That's the general, most widely used defense to copyright infringement. Is I had the right to use it. Fair use. Tort, trade secret violations. Right of publicity, that's basically using my face to for you to make money on your product. And sometimes, say one employee, I was listening, one employee had been in a video for a company, and that company was using it, putting it on YouTube to promote their product, and the employee leaves the company and didn't want the former employer to use his face to sell their product. So he sued them under the theory of that you can't, under my rights of publicity, and he won. Name squatting, that's basically the URL, somebody basically using the URL that's similar to your company. It's kind of, it's a very specific type of internet cause of action. Impersonation, we talked about. Defamation is saying something untruthful or damaging that would injure someone's reputation. You do have to be very careful about that. Invasion of privacy, that's why there's all these privacy policies in terms of use on these websites and online communities. Regulatory, we talked a little bit about breach of contract. So when you're clicking on that terms of use and the privacy policy, that is a legal contract. By you using that website and clicking on that, that's an agreement that you're agreeing to and you're legally bound by. And if you violate it, then the legal theory is breach of contract. False advertising, false or deceptive advertising, the FTC regulates this. The promotions and sweepstakes, unfair competition. Employment law, we touched on a lot of this. Recruiting and hiring, being careful about what you're posting in the job description, Googling potential applicants. Employees talking about their conditions of employment, we already talked about. We talked about all this stuff. Firing and employees utilizing social media to retaliate against you. If you are giving them severance and they're signing a general release, you would put that in there. You're not allowed to defame the company in any way, including on social media sites. It's something that I think is very easy that someone can send out a bunch of tweets about your company. It's social media attacks, which I did have a client in the fashion industry. One of her competitors said that she was it was copyright infringement. It was a French company, and she went on my client's Facebook account, and it was in French though. It's like, whatever, you should put it in English. But she was saying about how they were stealing her designs and everything. And we had advised them on what she also went into the retail locations where my client was and found out the emails of all the people who sell this product and sent out this blast email about how my client was stealing her designs and stuff. So that's a whole crisis social media attack scenario that a business should be prepared for if you have a large business, or any business really. And then sexual harassment too. We talked about a lot of this. Texting while driving. Oh, Carrie, go ahead. Yeah.
You were talking about the employment law issues, and I just read recently an article about and you may have it in here, I don't know, about non-compete clauses and people taking LinkedIn accounts with them when they leave a company and using those connections to establish their new company.
Right.
And is there any regulation or
I
can there be about that?
Yeah.
Because it's the same as violating, a non-compete clause and taking clients with you anywhere you go, taking a LinkedIn account that you established at your business to your new business.
And I guess my question would be it be a LinkedIn account for the business? Because there's LinkedIn,
Well, that's what the article was. It
Yeah.
was, as a representative of this business, they established these contacts
Right.
while at the business, but then they took those contacts with them to their new business.
It's like that litigation that, I don't know if you guys saw that in the media about this guy who was an employee of a company and he had a Twitter account that he was utilizing while employed, and he had like 20,000 Twitter followers. And he gets fired or leaves the company and he wants to keep using the Twitter account. And his former employer did not want, they wanted him to get off of it. And he's like, no. And he sued the former employer. He won. And they actually put a dollar amount in terms of his damages, because he still has, the Twitter account. But it was interesting because they were monetizing what a Twitter follower amount would be. It was interesting. But yeah, all of these issues are coming up. What is company property?
In a policy manual, if there are accounts established by your business, you can't take those with you when you go.
Right. Yeah. And in the covenant not to compete itself, too, for a particular employee. These are the different policies I was talking about. Social media, crisis management, data leakage prevention, blah, blah, blah. Confidentiality, non-disclosure right there, that's what you're talking about. And then the trends. We only have about 12 minutes. I want to open it up to questions, but I mentioned social, mobile, local, and video. This is talking about YouTube because YouTube isn't something that I use a lot myself, but again, with video and the popularity of it, it says YouTube is the second largest search engine on the web. 50% of YouTube's 300 million users go at least once a week. And I think really this is where we're trending with YouTube. This is a long video, but I'd rather, it's just the top 10 social media disasters.
We have time.
Yeah, you want to do it? I want to know if you can guess them.
Back here in the morning anyways, right?
Yeah.
So you said Anthony Weiner, that's one. I mentioned Chrysler. Can anyone name anything else? All right, let's play it.
A kung fu movie over there.
2011 is the year social media really took off. Facebook reached over 800 million members, representing 10% of the world's population. Twitter reached over 200 million tweets a day. And Google Plus became the world's fastest growing social network with over 25 million users acquired in just 4 weeks from launch. Wherever you happen to look, in the press, the blogosphere, TV, cable, and, dare I say it, social networks, all you heard was chatter about the social media revolution and how it was going to change everything. Well, they weren't wrong, and I have a book out about it called The Social Media Mind, which will be available to purchase as a paperback or download as an ebook from January 2012. Before we even get to that, however, it's fair to say that when you have that much noise being generated around a single practice, and so many people and different brands adopting it, you're more than likely to have what we affectionately call teething problems. And boy, did we get some in 2011. In compiling this short list, I had to shift through scores and scores of incidents in my files. And while the ones I included here are by no means definitive, they're certainly defining because they represent moments when something momentous happened, when a milestone moment was reached. So, without further ado, and in reverse order, let the countdown begin. 10. At number 10, we have New Media Strategies, a social media marketing company, as the name suggests, which when hired by Chrysler to launch an imported from Detroit campaign alongside a Super Bowl ad, managed to lose everything in a single moment when one of their employees involved in the account tweeted the F-word from Chrysler's official Twitter account alongside a derogatory remark about Detroit itself. The result, it cost the employee his job, and New Media Strategies lost a lucrative contract when Chrysler pulled the deal. Defining moment, it drove the point home that social media has an impact, that a single tweet really does matter, and that managing social media was a real challenge. 9. At number 9, we have Quickster. Every conceivable thing seemed to go wrong for Netflix, the popular video streaming and DVD rental service, when it announced in September its plans to spin off its DVD rental service into a separate site called Quickster. The company failed to check if the Twitter handle Quickster was available. In this case, it wasn't. It belonged to a pot-smoking, sexist, foul-mouthed student by the name of Jason Castillo, who enjoyed his newfound celebrity in a series of tweets which only fueled the online bonfire Netflix found itself in. Netflix killed Quickster 3 weeks later, but by then 800,000 subscribers wound up quitting the service in the third quarter of the year. Defining moment, a major brand getting just about everything which has to do with social media and online marketing wrong. It became a lesson in avoidance of how not to launch a new online service.
8.
At number 8 is Qantas, Australia's favourite airline, which launched a Twitter contest in November in which it asked followers to describe their dream luxury in-flight experience. It pledged to award top Twitterers with pajamas and toiletries as a reward. Just a day before, however, contract talks had broken down between Qantas and its unions. As a result, the entire fleet was grounded. The campaign's Twitter hashtag, Qantas Luxury, was hijacked, generating thousands of tweets from unhappy customers. Defining moment, a lesson that timing is everything, even in a Twitter campaign, and that online and offline are no longer separate worlds.
7.
At number 7 is Bob Parsons, the colorful and larger-than-life Texan who founded and heads the massive US web domain registry company GoDaddy. GoDaddy was subject to a massive backlash after its CEO tweeted a link to a video of himself shooting an elephant in Zimbabwe. People for the ethical treatment of animals led to an effort urging a boycott of GoDaddy, and competitors tried to capitalize by offering discounted transfer rates and even making donations to elephant charities. Parsons tried to explain the shooting of the elephant as philanthropic work rather than recreation, saying it was to protect a Zimbabwe village from the marauding elephant. This only seemed to exacerbate the damage, providing a lesson for other CEOs whose private life and online conduct reflected on their companies. Defining moment, it taught us that a CEO's personal life is never private, and that when it comes to posting something online, you had better consider all the angles.
6.
At number 6 is Unilever, whose tomato sauce ragu earned the wrath of fathers everywhere after the company created and tweeted about a series of videos of mothers sounding off on the hopelessness of their husbands in the kitchen. In the time-honored tradition of the PR team hoping for a hit, tweets were sent to prominent bloggers in the expectation that this would go viral. It did, though not quite in the way the company had expected. Tired of the stereotypical approach of ragu, bloggers blogged and tweeted about how, quote-unquote, ragu hates dads, making this a trending topic in Twitter and forcing the company to stop the campaign. Defining moment, it showed us that traditional marketing techniques do not work well in social media channels, and that the social media conversation really is a two-way thing, rather than just another broadcast channel for companies and brands.
5.
At number 5 is Kenneth Cole's shoes. The retailer stirred up trouble when he tried to ride the coattails of the Arab Spring social media phenomenon with a tweet. Millions are in uproar in Cairo. Rumor is they heard a new spring collection is now available online. The backlash was as large as it was immediate, forcing the prompt apology which came from the company. Defining moment, we know that social media is commercial only by association. If you use it, you have to display empathy and sensitivity to what is going on in the world around you.
4.
At number 4 is Anthony Weiner, whose unfortunate surname prompted the headlines Weinergate and launched considerably more than 1,000 tweets. When a photo of a part of his anatomy sounds very similar to his surname was tweeted
Why did it keep the photo in? I don't know.
in May, Anthony Weiner first denied it, and then he insisted they had been hacked. The scrutiny, however, continued, and the powerful New York congressman, who, it must be noted, had been considered the frontrunner for the 2013 New York City mayoral election, was forced to admit that yes, he had sent the photo himself. As a result, he had to resign from the House of Representatives after 12 years in office. Defining moment, this was the moment social media drove the issue home about there being almost nothing private online. It became a defining moment for US politics, with a powerful congressman admitting ultra-human transgressions and stepping down from office. It helps to remember here that Weiner, for his attempts to cover it up, had not indulged in any physical contact of any kind. Nevertheless, the power and reach of social media had become sufficient to paint a less than savory picture of himself,